Rangers delivered a statement performance at Ibrox, brushing aside Aberdeen with a ruthless 4-0 victory, marking Barry Ferguson's first home league win as interim manager. The atmosphere was electric. The fans were in full voice, but behind the celebrations, a much bigger narrative is unfolding. The pressing question remains, will this emphatic result be enough to convince the club's hierarchy, particularly those tied to the 49ers group, that Ferguson is the man to take the reins permanently, or have they already set their sights on a different figure to lead the Light Blues into the next chapter? Adding fuel to the speculation, today's report sent shockwaves through the Rangers support. David Ancelotti, son of the legendary Carlo Ancelotti, has now been linked with a managerial vacancy at Ibrox. It seems the hunt for a long-term successor to Philippe Clement is far from over, and with his new contender in the frame, things just got a lot more interesting. While Barry Ferguson continues to steer the ship until the end of the season, the growing list of potential candidates is a clear indication that the Rangers board is leaving no stone unturned in their search for the right man to lead the club forward. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Back to the Aberdeen match. Ferguson didn't shy away from sharing his frustrations despite the comprehensive win. At halftime, with Rangers holding a slender advantage, the interim boss was visibly irritated with the lack of intensity from his players. Speaking candidly after the match, Ferguson admitted he was forced to give his squad a stern talking to demanding more energy, more aggression, and crucially more pride in wearing the Rangers badge. His words clearly struck a chord as the second half saw a rejuvenated Rangers side that imposed their will on the game, finally delivering the level of performance expected at Ibrox. Ferguson's post-match comments on Sky Sports revealed the depth of his irritation. He openly criticized the squad's inconsistency, expressing his frustration over repeatedly having to give them a kick up the backside to extract the quality he knows they possess. I wasn't happy at halftime, Ferguson admitted. There wasn't enough energy about us. Aberdeen didn't cause us any problems, but I expected more. I had to make a change, and I demanded we started getting runners from midfield, make Aberdeen think a wee bit. The second half, that's more like it. That's what I want to see from my team. It's a sentiment that resonates with many supporters. This Rangers squad is undeniably talented, yet time and again they have fallen short of the high standards the club demands. Ferguson's frustration is not born out of malice, but out of a genuine belief in the player's potential. His challenge has been getting that level of performance consistently, not just in flashes. There are good players in there, he continued. They just need a kick up the backside. I've given them a few, but they've responded. It's frustrating because I know it's in there. They frustrate the living daylights out of me because I see it in training. I see it in glimpses during games, but it needs to be there every single time they step on the pitch. The message was clear: mediocrity will not be tolerated. Ferguson's demand for higher standards echoes the very ethos of Rangers Football Club. He knows better than most what it means to wear that shirt, having lived and breathed it during his playing days. And while he might be holding the fort temporarily, his passion and drive are unmistakable. However, while Ferguson fights his battle on the touchline, the boardroom discussions continue in the background. The revelation that David Ancelotti is now in the running for the managerial position has sparked fresh debate among fans and pundits alike. At just 35 years old, Ancelotti has built an impressive coaching resume working alongside his father at elite clubs such as Bayern Munich, Napoli, Everton, and currently Real Madrid. His pedigree is unquestionable, but questions remain over whether he is ready to take on the top job himself, particularly in a demanding environment like Ibrox. Reports suggest that Ancelotti Jr. is seriously considering stepping out from his father's shadow to begin his own managerial career, and Rangers could provide the perfect platform for such a move. With Carlo Ancelotti set to leave Real Madrid this summer, his son's future is equally up in the air. For Rangers, securing a young, ambitious coach with experience at the very highest level could be an enticing prospect. But it's a gamble, and in Scottish football, gambles can either turn into historic successes or costly missteps. Meanwhile, the fallout from last week's controversial display by the Union Bears continues to dominate headlines. The fan group's banner depicting Graeme Souness holding a shotgun with the phrase "Take aim at the rebel scum" sparked immediate backlash from the club's hierarchy. Rangers officials were quick to issue a statement condemning the display, branding it as unacceptable and crossing a line. However, this rapid response has not sat well with a large section of the fan base. During the latest fan advisory board meeting, club officials were grilled over their handling of the situation. Supporters voiced their displeasure, accusing the board of acting hastily to criticize their own fans while failing to defend them with the same urgency when provoked by rival supporters. The minutes of the meeting captured the strength of feeling among the supporters, highlighting a recurring frustration with the perceived lack of backing from the club's leadership. In a pointed response, the Union Bears unveiled a new banner during the Aberdeen match reading, "Jumped the gun and lost the fans, no apology, no surrender." The message was loud and clear. The relationship between the fan base and the club's hierarchy remains strained, and unless addressed properly, it risks deepening further. The club has since pledged to engage more closely with supporter groups to find the right balance of trust, responsibility, and oversight regarding future displays. On the pitch, though, Rangers' focus remains on finishing the season strongly. Václav Kearney, who has been a bright spark during his loan spell from Wolfsburg, scored his 18th goal of the campaign in the win over Aberdeen. His future, however, remains uncertain. With 2 years left on his contract with the Bundesliga side, Cerny admitted that while every opportunity remains open, his immediate focus is on Rangers' remaining fixtures and his commitments with the national team. Pundit Chris Boyd has already warned that a permanent deal for Cerny would be challenging, citing the significant transfer fee Wolfsburg paid to acquire the player. "It's going to be difficult," Boyd said. "They paid around $7 million for him. But Cerny can be proud of his performances here. 18 goals is a great return, especially considering the ups and downs this team has faced." Adding to the list of uncertain futures is club captain James Tavernier. With 1 year left on his contract, Tavernier has insisted he is not looking beyond the end of his current deal. Reflecting on what will soon be a decade at Rangers, he acknowledged the highs and lows, expressing a desire to win more silverware before eventually hanging up his boots. "I've got 1 more year left," he said. "I'm settled here, and I want to win more things. That's my focus. When the time comes to look back on my career, I want to be able to say I gave everything for this club." Tavernier's words will resonate with the fans, many of whom see him as a symbol of loyalty and perseverance during a period of significant change and challenge for Rangers. Yet as the season winds down, it's clear that the summer will bring big decisions for the club on and off the field. With Barry Ferguson making his case in the dugout, David Ancelotti emerging as a serious candidate, and key players facing pivotal moments in their careers, Rangers stand on the brink of another defining period. The fans demand progress, silverware, and a team that embodies the club's proud traditions. Whether that will be under Ferguson, Ancelotti, or another yet unknown figure remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the next few months will be crucial in shaping the future of Rangers Football Club. Alright, let's dive back into the heart of Ibrox, because the story doesn't end with just a thumping win over Aberdeen or managerial. Rumors swirling around. The real pulse of Rangers Football Club is in the daily battles, on the pitch, in the boardroom, and among the supporters. Every win, every setback, every decision is scrutinized. And right now the club is standing at a crossroads that could define its trajectory for years to come. Let's be honest, Barry Ferguson is as Rangers as it gets. His passion, his understanding of the badge, and his no-nonsense approach have earned him plenty of respect. But in modern football, sentiment only takes you so far. The board will be thinking bigger, weighing up whether Ferguson's old-school fire is enough to navigate the ruthless demands of domestic dominance and European ambitions. With the names being linked, like David Ancelotti, it's clear they're also flirting with a different vision. Fresh ideas, continental experience, a new tactical identity. Bringing in someone from the Ancelotti school would send a message that Rangers are serious about evolving, about learning from the elite. But it also comes with risk. Would a young coach stepping into his first senior managerial role be able to handle the unique pressures of Scottish football, where every draw feels like a disaster and every loss sparks crisis talks? And yet the appeal is obvious. Ancelotti Jr. has been in dressing rooms filled with world-class talent. He's absorbed lessons from Bayern Munich to Real Madrid. That pedigree, even as an assistant, can't be dismissed. Rangers fans, however, will demand more than a famous surname. They'll want someone who gets the club, understands the intensity of old firm derbies, and respects the sheer weight of expectation that comes with representing Rangers. This balancing act between ambition and authenticity will be the toughest decision for the board. Away from the managerial search, the tension between the fans and the club's leadership remains a live wire. The Union Bears banners aren't just colorful displays, they're a barometer of supporter sentiment. When they unveiled the jump the gun and lost the fans message, it wasn't just a reaction to a single statement. It was a culmination of frustrations, of feeling that the board has become too quick to criticize its own, while remaining silent when Rangers supporters are targeted elsewhere. This disconnect is dangerous territory. The unity between the club and its fan base has always been one of Rangers' greatest strengths. Lose that, and it becomes a slippery slope. The board's commitment to reevaluating how they handle supporter displays is a step in the right direction, but actions will speak louder than words. Meanwhile, on the footballing front, the future of players like Vaclav Cerny adds another layer of intrigue. His impact has been undeniable. 18 goals in a season where Rangers have struggled for consistency. But turning his loan spell into a permanent move is far from straightforward. Wolfsburg's valuation will be a stumbling block, and with Rangers needing to be shrewd in the transfer market, every penny counts. Chris Boyd's assessment that it'll be difficult to get the deal done is rooted in financial reality, but football has a funny way of throwing up surprises. If Cerny himself pushes for the move, and if Rangers see him as a cornerstone for the future negotiations, could take an interesting turn. Then there's the case of James Tavernier, a figure who divides opinion at times, yet his loyalty and contribution to Rangers are undeniable. 10 years at the club, countless memorable moments, but also the lingering sense of what if when it comes to silverware. His comments about focusing on his final year are typical Tavernier, professional, committed but non-committal about the long term. For fans, it's bittersweet. Here's a captain who has given his all, yet the hunger for more remains. Whether he'll be part of the next chapter or bow out after this contract is one of the many storylines that will unfold in the coming months. All these individual threads, managerial decisions, fan relations, player futures, are intertwined. They all feed into the larger narrative of what Rangers Football Club wants to be. Is it a club that sticks with its own values, the homegrown mentality, and trusts in figures like Barry Ferguson to lead with passion? Or is it a club ready to embrace a new identity, bringing in external influences to modernize and compete on a higher level? Both paths come with their own risks and rewards. But one thing is certain, standing still is not an option. The Scottish Premiership demands relentless consistency. Celtic's continued dominance adds pressure, and the fans' expectations are sky high. Success isn't optional, it's mandatory. European campaigns, domestic silverware, and maintaining that fierce competitive edge are non-negotiable. That's why every decision made in these coming weeks is so crucial. The wrong appointment, the wrong transfer moves, or mismanaging fan relations could set the club back significantly. Conversely, bold but smart moves could propel Rangers back to where the supporters believe they belong, at the summit of Scottish football and making waves in Europe. As the season nears its conclusion, the final games will be more than just dead rubbers. They'll be an audition for players fighting for their futures, a test of character for Barry Ferguson, and a chance for the fans to see glimpses of what could be. Whether it's Cerny chasing more goals, Tavernier leading by example, or the team finally showing the consistency Ferguson has been demanding, every performance now carries weight. It's not just about pride, it's about momentum and sending a message about what this team is capable of. Behind the scenes, the scouting negotiations and strategic planning will continue at full throttle. The board will need to juggle immediate results with long-term vision. The manager, they choose the players they signed or let go, and the relationship they mend or further fracture with the fans will shape the club's future. There's no room for sentimentality if it comes at the cost of progress, but there's also no room for detached corporate decisions that ignore the heartbeat of the club. its supporters. In the end, this is Rangers, a club built on pride, history, and an unrelenting demand for excellence. Whether it's Barry Ferguson barking orders from the touchline, a young Ancelotti bringing in fresh ideas, or new heroes emerging on the pitch, the expectation remains the same: compete, win, and uphold the values that define this football club. The next few months won't just be a transfer window or a managerial appointment. They'll be a defining moment in the club's story. And as always, the fans will be watching, waiting, and demanding the very best. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Dimitri Payet has sensationally arrived at Rangers in a move that has taken the footballing world by storm. The French maestro, known for his flair, vision, and dead ball magic, has swapped the Mediterranean sun for the roar of Ibrox, bringing with him a wealth of experience and a reputation for the spectacular. It's a statement signing, one that signals Ligier's ambition and injects new excitement into the Scottish Premiership. At 37, Payet is no longer the sprightly winger who dazzled in the Premier League with West Ham, but his class remains undeniable. Most recently of Vasco da Gama in Brazil, the playmaker proved he still has the quality to dictate matches. Now, in the twilight of his career, he lands in Glasgow with a point to prove and the fire still burning in his boots. Rangers fans can already dream of the Frenchman whipping a curling free kick into the top corner on Derby Day, or threading a pass through a sea of defenders to set up a vital goal under the lights. For Philippe Clement, this is more than just a signing, it's a coup. The Belgian boss knows what Payet brings: creativity, experience, and a touch of the unpredictable that can change the course of a title race. In a league often accused of lacking star power beyond the old firm, the arrival of a former French international and Euro 2016 finalist is a rare headline grabber. It lifts not just Rangers, but the profile of Scottish football as a whole. Naturally, questions will follow. Can Payet handle the physicality of the Scottish game? Will he adapt to the pace? But the man has answered doubters before, and few would bet against him doing it again. If he stays fit and motivated, Ibrox might just be about to witness something special. Greetings, fans! Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.